Hello and welcome to Crypto Exposed. German venture capital firm CEO says XRP can be a world reserve currency. Okay, let's get into this one. So, do I think that this is possible? Yes, this is something that Ripple actually set out to do, and I can show you this, and I just want to add a little piece of this as I do get into it. So straight away here we've got the XRP ledger, which is xrpl.org, and this is actually an archive because when I first saw this, it was actually a blog on Ripple's website. And so as you can see here highlighted, this is the actual blog from Ripple's website. And this is the part that I just want to highlight. Most importantly, we remain more committed than ever to the simple goal of making XRP the world's reserve digital currency. Now, the interesting thing about this is that I looked high and low and I can't see this on Ripple's website anymore. And that just makes me think, because we've heard recently how David Schwartz was in a live on X. And he'd basically said, hey, cross-border payments just hasn't gone as well as we hoped it would. So we're now looking to other things, right? Like he never said that he was giving up on cross-border payments, but they're looking at other things as well to try and continue to add value to XRP, not just focusing on cross-border payments anymore. And so I'm looking at that, and then I'm thinking how this has been taken off the website, and I'm just like, is it just a thing of they just want to change their approach now? Is that the kind of thing where the world's reserve digital currency is just not something they're really focusing on anymore? I don't know. I'm not sure. But this is officially a blog from Ripple. I can assure you of that because I did see it with my own eyes, and I don't do hype content, so I'm not just going to say that to lie to you guys. It was originally on their website. So as I say, them taking it off, I don't know. Is it a thing where they're changing their game plan and they're just trying to get out of that kind of talk now? Possibly. But yes, I know that this was one of their goals originally in the early days. So I do think it's possible, but the thing about this is when we talk about this, like how soon are we talking, right? Because it's exciting to hear this. And I've heard David Schwartz talk on this as well, and he still said in the future he thinks that this could be a thing. But how long are we talking, right? Because it could take 10 years for this to happen, right? And so while that's still great, I know a lot of you guys who watch this content, you guys are not thinking 10 years ahead. Yeah, so for me, I might hold some XRP long term just to see what happens. But I know a lot of you guys are like, well, we just want to know what's going to happen next year, this year, that kind of thing, right? So when I'm thinking of it from the aspect, do I think it's going to happen anytime soon? No, not at all. No. It's going to take a lot of time for this kind of thing to develop, to be honest with you. Adoption, regulations, Ripple are already in legal ties at the moment with the SEC. And even just this simple fact as well. Moon Lambo pointed this out, and when he said it, I completely agreed with him. It was one of the things I was thinking myself is that, Ripple are a US company, right? Who own the majority of XRP, right? They hold the escrow. And so when you think about a world reserve currency, one of the benefits of having a world reserve currency being XRP is the fact that it's decentralized, right? So it's not a thing where one country will benefit more than another. So for example, right now, the dollar is the world reserve currency, right? And so everything being used in dollars is greatly helping the US dollar and ultimately helping America, right? And so obviously countries may not really like that because it's like, yeah, we've kind of got to go along with this, but we hate the fact that we're just helping America stay dominant, right? We're using their currency all the time, which is helping them stay dominant. So if they have the idea of, well, now it's going to be decentralized, because you've got to understand this, there's going to be some countries that will never have their currency be a world reserve currency, right? There's going to be third world countries and stuff like that, and they're just never going to get world reserve currency status. It's just never going to happen. So for those countries, they may be like, well, it's never going to happen for us. So if it's not going to happen for us, let's at least have it decentralized so that we're not helping other countries, right? So it's that kind of thing. And so that would be the positive about having the world reserve currency. But if your world reserve currency is XRP, which is ultimately owned by a US fintech company, again, it's going to be a bit concerning for those countries, right? They might be like, well, they're probably going to favor the US as that's where they're based. And, we don't know what they could do. They're just a company. So, it's not even like they're necessarily going to be as held as accountable as maybe like a country or whatever. So there's those kind of potential concerns. So for me, thinking about it from that aspect and everything I've just pointed out, I wouldn't think it's going to happen anytime soon in my personal opinion. But I do think it's possible. So this is good news. Like, it's definitely, I don't want to just be like I'm shooting this down, because the very fact that it even is possible is great. And if some of you guys do have a long-term mindset, and this is what I will say just before we get into it, like, you haven't necessarily got to think that you've just got to hold for 10 years. You could maybe sell some XRP and keep some XRP. So let's just say, as a hypothetical, let's just say you have like 5,000 XRP or even 1,000 XRP, whatever. Just half it, right? You could say, okay, I'm going to half it. Half of it I will sell, and the other half I will just keep for long term. It's whatever works for you guys, whatever your investment strategy is, whatever works for you guys. But I'm just saying that at the end of the day, it's not a thing where you have to just be like, oh, okay, now I'm going to have to potentially wait 10 years for all this to take off. No, there's going to be bull runs and stuff like that where XRP will rise in value through that. There'll be other types of adoption that could happen, cross-border payments, tokenization, CBDCs. All these types of things can also aid in XRP's value. So in terms of it getting this status, obviously this would be huge. It'll be absolutely amazing if it can reach that actual goal. But if it can, yeah, it would be incredible. But I don't think it's going to be something that's going to happen right now. So I wouldn't be focusing my attention on this, like, just for the immediate future. But the fact that this is possible to me is very, very exciting, because look, I said 10 years is just like, just throwing a number out there. It could be shorter than that. It could be 5 years, right? We don't know how quick things could move along once regulation kicks in. I mean, if we look at like the ETF now, what that has done for adoption, what we're seeing with Bitcoin's price, it's absolutely insane. So we can already see how quick mass adoption can occur once the things are in place for this to happen. So if the USA get their act together and start actually putting towards the regulations that we need to start making this a more viable industry, then hey, who knows how fast things could move, So it could be sooner than that, but I'm just trying to be a bit cautious, that's all, in terms of thinking like, oh, this is going to happen this year or anything like that. But this is a great thing to see. So let's get into the article and then we can discuss this a little bit further. Oliver Michael, the CEO of Tokentus Investment AG, a prominent German Web3 venture capital firm, has voiced his belief in XRP's potential to serve as the world's reserve currency. Michael expressed this view during a recent interview with Der Aktionär on the floor of the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, wherein he emphasized XRP's role as a bridge asset for cross-border payments. Pseudonymous XRP community member XRP Drops recently spotlighted Michael's commentary on XRP. XRP for cross-border settlements. Michael stressed XRP's crucial role by first citing a scenario involving a monetary transfer from Germany to the United States. He highlighted multiple financial institutions' involvement in converting the euros to dollars for the recipient. Michael expressed concern over the high costs and lengthy processing times associated with the traditional methods. On this premise, he remarked that Ripple created a business concept around XRP to solve the highlighted problem. In particular, Michael noted another scenario wherein, upon initiating the euro payment, the sender's processing financial institution swiftly converts euros into XRP with minimal cost. Subsequently, the receiving bank promptly converts the XRP into dollars and disperses the funds to the recipient, incurring minimal time and cost. In his words, as translated from German, quote, "That's actually the motivation of Ripple, so that the banks or the central banks can exchange the classical currencies into XRP," unquote. XRP becoming world reserve bridge currency. Furthermore, during the interview, the correspondent sought Michael's view on the future role of the XRP ledger and Ripple's on-demand liquidity. The Tokentus Investment CEO expressed their belief that the future role of XRPL and ODL would be pivotal, especially with the emergence of central bank digital currencies, in brackets CBDCs. He highlighted the pressure on central banks to implement CBDCs quickly. Moreover, Michael sees Ripple's bridge technology as crucial for facilitating connections between central banks. While citing potential rivals like the JP Morgan coin, he emphasized the advantage of being a first mover in this space. As a result, he expressed confidence that XRP has the potential to become the world reserve bridge currency if time favors Ripple's development. Quote, with its offer, and if time plays for Ripple, then Ripple, in brackets XRP, can certainly become the world reserve bridge currency, unquote, Michael remarked. Okay, very interesting. I mean, first things first, it's good to see that we're getting these people in such high places talking about XRP. Like, it's weird how, you know, like, we know what XRP can do. And let's just face facts here. Even though XRP hasn't been as successful as they would have hoped for, you know, cross-border payments, we know that XRP is an incredible tool to use for that use case, right? We know that anyway. So the fact that you don't really get many people talking about it in terms of banks and stuff like that, kind of strange. But this is the thing. I think part of it as well is just, it's a new technology. And I do think when it comes to this kind of stuff with like new things, a lot of people fear the unknown. You know, they fear what they don't understand. And that's why it takes a while for stuff like this to really like take over. Like if we look at the crypto space now and the crypto industry, and we think about all the things that crypto technology can do, not just XRP, there's plenty of other cryptos out there too that are also serving great use cases, right? You'd think it's surprising that they haven't tried to get this space regulated as quick as they can, so they can start adopting the technology, because there's so many industries that would benefit from this technology. But yet, here we are, you know, we've got the SEC trying to basically, you know, sue every coin except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And, you know, like there's no regulation in sight. So it just goes to show that when it comes to this kind of thing, especially like with XRP, like it takes time. It really does take time for this kind of stuff to really, you know, take its true adoption, like its true form. So, in a way, I'm not that surprised, but in a way I am surprised just because when I look at how the SEC are going, like they seem like they want to just destroy crypto. You know, like they don't even look to me like they want crypto to do well whatsoever. And I've discussed this in a previous video, and part of the reason I do believe, especially with Ripple and XRP, I do think it's possibly because of the fact that XRP could be a world reserve currency. Why? Well, that takes away the dollar being the world reserve currency, right? So, to me, and this is just pure speculation, like, you know, I'm not trying to get too conspiracy theory-ish here, but, like, it wouldn't surprise me if part of this is the SEC fear that XRP could take over the dollar's status, and so they're trying to protect the dollar being the world reserve currency. And that's why they're going against Ripple and XRP. You know, it's just a thought. I think it's possible. I think it's plausible. I haven't got evidence or anything like that, so it really is just a thought. But, you know, there's someone, Steven Neroff, who used to work for Ethereum, and he's got a lot of dirt on them, and he's basically, you know, helping to put a lawsuit against Ethereum now, against like Vitalik Buterin and Joe Lubin, all these guys who he feels have played a part in a lot of corruption. And, you know, the more he speaks on it, the more that to me, you know, rings true. The more it seems like that is a very real possibility. So I think there's definitely that as well. But yeah, you know, like I remember when I did a video a little while back now, about a month or two ago, about someone talking about XRP on Fox News. And don't get me wrong, he didn't say XRP, but he was talking about like a bridge currency, you know, all the things of what XRP does, basically, without saying XRP. And I don't do conspiracy theories or anything like that. I don't do hype content, but it was clear he was talking about XRP. So it is a bit weird how a lot of people don't speak on it the way you would expect. But, you know, for all the reasons that I've just said, maybe it's a bit more understandable as to why. So yes, in regards to the bridge currency, yeah, I do think it's possible. I really do. And just one other thing I want to touch on here. He mentioned like JP Morgan coin. So he's talking about how like there could be competition for Ripple and XRP. Well, my only thing I'll say with JP Morgan coin is this, right? Okay, JP Morgan, it's a legacy financial entity, right? So I understand that they can have a lot more connections, you know, they've been around for longer, all that kind of stuff. But my only thing I'll say is, if you're looking at it from the perspective that we discussed earlier in regards to, you know, why would you want it to be a company who holds, you know, this significant amount of this crypto that would be the world reserve currency, and not wanting another country to benefit from having their currency as the global reserve currency? Well, it's the same for JP Morgan coin, right? Like, if JP Morgan coin became the world reserve currency, that's going to benefit JP Morgan the most. So would they really want JP Morgan to benefit from all the activity of their crypto being the world reserve currency? So I don't really think they're in much of a better position. The only reason why I could say they might be in a better position is just because of the fact that they're a legacy financial entity. That's it really. The connections and all that kind of stuff. Because to me, if you think about all these other banks, these smaller banks and even the bigger banks, they're going to be like, okay, so we're using the JP Morgan coin, so they're getting all of the benefit, they're getting all the value or the benefit from utilizing their crypto, but we're not getting any of that. So again, would banks be like, well, we don't want to use this crypto, right? Like, we don't want to use this crypto that's going to benefit them, because that could make JP Morgan even more valuable. And, you know, that could make it be a thing where they're getting so much more value than other banks now. And, you know, they might have way more power due to that, way more dominance. So I don't really think JP Morgan coin has like that much more of a chance than Ripple, in my opinion. And as we've said, like, Ripple has the first mover advantage, which I do agree with in that sense as well. So not really concerned with that. But yeah, great stuff to see here. And as I say, like, I don't want this to just be like a negative, like I'm shooting it down. I do think this is possible and this would be amazing. I'm just not looking to it right now. This is not something I'm thinking, oh, you know, within this year, we're going to have this world reserve currency by XRP. It's going to be incredible. No, I think it's going to be a good few years before we get to this kind of status, if Ripple are going to achieve that with XRP. So very bullish though, you know, the fact that this is even a possibility, like, it tells you the power of the crypto that you hold. And if you do have a long-term mindset, this should still be music to your ears, right? Because this is still great stuff to know. Like, it's still great to know that you hold a crypto that could be the world reserve currency in the future. And who knows what that will do for price, but I can only imagine it would work wonders. So to me, like, just knowing that is, you know, it might be a thing of, hey, you might just want to hold like just maybe like a 10% of your XRP just for the long term, just to see what can happen. Something to bear in mind, but great news nonetheless. But what do you guys think? XRP becoming a world reserve currency. Do you like the sound of this? How long do you think it could take for XRP to become a world reserve currency? Do you think that this will be good for XRP's price? Or do you not like the sound of this? Do you not think that XRP could become a world reserve currency? Or do you just not think that this will be good for XRP's price overall long term? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'll be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.